Mick McCann. We have celebrity status here this evening. Mick McCann is the author of several books. One of them is about the inventions that have come out of Leeds. So historically, he's well versed. I don't know what he's going to talk about tonight. No idea. Could be completely off the wall. We'll have to find out. That's just how it is here at BettaKultcha. Incidentally, there's one slot left for the random slide challenge. So if anybody wants that, just let me know. But in the meantime, Mr. Mick McCann, give it up. Thank you.
Hi, I'm not as smart as all those other people, so I can't remember all my words. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this thing I learned called reading. So, sorry if I'm not looking at you all the time. The slide's behind me anyway. Yep. Hi, my name's Mick and I'm racist, homophobic and sexist. Calling someone these things can be the worst insult going, which is good on one level, but on another it closes down debate, openness and a sense of ease. There can be a fine balancing act between intention and offence received. An old fella might use the expression coloured, and a phrase I've learnt not to use, but for him it's respectful. What gave me the idea of this talk was being quite rightly censored by The Guardian Leeds. The offending line was, which leads me tidily onto birds and them being all right and that. Maybe equal on that. I think the naughty word was tidily, although it could have been birds. Which is a word which is weird, sitting in a sentence in which maybe equal on that was tongue-in-cheek. Often women's wages are not. Although women may take offence, I don't think it's usually used with any malice. In my experience, it's neutral and could usually be replaced by women and not change the meaning. The roots of the expression are Anglo-Saxon, used to express women's independence and free spirit. As free as a bird, it was positive. I also like the ambiguity of it sitting in an article promoting equality and personal freedom, including a celebration of strong, feisty, spunky women. I tried to find a slide for feisty, spunky women, but there was nothing I could use. Now, I understand half of this room may not appreciate being called birds, and I've thought long and hard about this. Get over it. I'd find more offence in the word feisty or maybe ladies. Anyway, never mind you lot, I'm oppressed. I suffer from shortism. You're all shortist. You wouldn't go up to someone and say, how long have you been bald then? Or, ooh, you're quite black. But you're small, aren't you? Seems acceptable. I suffer shortism. And there's evidence that short people do less well in the workplace. Is it because our height makes us a little less competent? Or are short people genetically a bit daft? And before you say anything, I'm not typical of a short person. Other than in my height. Who decides if a word is taboo? Is it the group it describes? Does it matter on the context or intention? Does it matter if the person offended misunderstands that context and intention? Nigger is a word I shouldn't use. I'd need to be black. Screaming queen's an expression that I picked up off gay men, but were I to use it in polite society, it might be frowned upon. I reckon everyone has prejudice. We look at a person, quickly drag up some stereotypes, often without realising we're doing it. I might meet a 30-year-old Polish bloke and decide he's a plumber or an electrician when in fact he's a heart surgeon. Oh, it's simply levels of prejudice and whether you question yourself. It's easy to spot homophobia or maybe sexism when you're listening to radicalised Christians, but less so when talking to someone who's learned how to use all the correct terms. Being PC can leave us slightly smug and static in the knowledge that I'm not racist, it's the other people. We are beyond questioning ourselves. A play at the Right On PC, West Yorkshire Playhouse, really offended me. Shocking and Fucking presented a series of worrying stereotypes that were wildly applauded from the stage. What wound me up further was a couple of screaming queens in front of me who were whooping and applauding each act of abuse. At the after-show discussion, I said, do you think it's acceptable to present a string of homophobic stereotypes? And one of the actors replied immediately that he'd been so worried about the issue that he almost didn't take the role, but he needed the work. He was thrown a look and told to shut up by the theatre's artistic director, who answered me with, I'm sorry that you found the representations of anal sex offensive. No, I replied, I like anal sex. I'm bothered that all the sex was abusive. None of them were capable of having caring relationships, and all the gay men raped a young child. She ignored this question whilst moving the discussion on to anal sex, as I called. Do gay men not have long-term relationships then? Do all gay men rape young children? Being female, gay, not white or even short doesn't preclude us from prejudice, and our social environments affect us all. Unless they state their prejudices, I don't think people are simply prejudiced or not. Our words, thoughts and expressions may be, and that's for us to negotiate. My son came home from a new job flapping about a situation that developed. Unlike me, he's always had a very racially mixed group of friends and understands words that I don't. That day, a middle-aged man quizzed a young woman right next to his desk. Your boyfriend's a Gora. That's not right, a Gora. And what do your family think about that? My son was getting wound up. Finally the words, but couldn't you find a nice Asian boy? Caused him to interject. Later, the young woman came and explained that Gora isn't a racist word and the bloke wasn't being racist. He replied that he knew the word and just decided that it might be a normal conversation for her. I'm right behind the Reclaim movement in its attempt to alter the meaning of unpleasant words. I've been doing it in my own way for years. For me, a couple of words are taboo. I think rape and abortion should only really be used in a specific meaning. I could murder a drink, weirdly, doesn't bother me. I look forward to the day when all this is just irrelevant, and I'd like to end with a joke that my chavvy friend told me. What do you call a black man who flies a plane? A pilot, you racist. Thank you.
Mick McCann.